The motion is adopted and the bill is passed. The motion is adopted and the bill is passed. The motion is adopted and the bill is passed. Motion is adopted, bill is passed.
All right, so breaking news coming in. The Delhi Services Bill has been passed by the Rajya Sabha, and as the Rajya Sabha chair just mentioned, the bill was passed by 131 to 102 votes. So breaking news coming in. The hugely politically contentious Delhi Services Bill has been passed by the Rajya Sabha. It was being seen as a foregone conclusion by many after the YSR CP, the BJD and the TDP extended its support to the BJP government. But very important there, after many controversies, now the Delhi Services Bill has been passed in the Rajya Sabha as well. And now what it essentially does is give the control of services, civil servants and bureaucrats in the national capital to the centre and the centre appointed Lieutenant Governor, something that's been called undemocratic and unconstitutional by the India Alliance, by the opposition parties there. But the bill has been passed by 131 to 102 votes in the Rajya Sabha. Megha Prasad is now joining us live on the broadcast. Megha, so very significant there. After multiple controversies, finally the bill has been passed, 131 to 102 votes. First, help us make sense of these numbers, and secondly, talk to us also about about that controversy over MPs claiming that their signatures were there on the motion, on that proposal, without their consent in that motion moved by Raghav Chadha.
Well, so the first news that we're putting out at this moment, extremely significant, both political and otherwise, is that the Delhi Ordinance Bill now stands fast in Rajya Sabha, and so turns into a law. Lok Sabha, it had passed, and now in Rajya Sabha the bill stands fast, and the government has been able to cobble up. Actually, they were able to get 131 votes in the upper house, while the halfway mark was 119. So the bill now turns into a law, the Delhi Ordinance Bill, which was brought in by the government. Very, very important. It changes a whole lot of things as far as the governance of Delhi is concerned. And apart from that, the other story that has happened here is obviously about the motion that was moved by Raghav Chadha. And now, I mean, it was pointed out by Mr. Amit Shah only the minute he finished his speech, his reply in the upper house, and there, he said, he pointed out the two members, and he said that those MPs are claiming that their names have been fraudulently used, that they never signed the motion moved by Raghav Chadha. To which the chair has responded that, it's a serious matter, it will be looked into. But there are actually 5 MPs. Asmat Patra of the BJD, he got up very angrily, said that I've never signed, did not sign the motion, so how did his name come there?
All right, so we seem to have lost that line with Megha, but news also just coming in that Delhi Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal will be addressing a digital press conference at 10:15 tonight. Of course, as Megha was also pointing out, a lot has changed now in terms of how Delhi is governed, in terms of key services and bureaucrats now virtually being under the control of the centre-appointed Lieutenant Governor, something that the Aam Aadmi Party has, this issue has been raked up by the Aam Aadmi Party multiple times earlier as well, saying that their government is virtually paralysed because of the control that the centre has over the bureaucrats here in the national capital. In fact, we also saw that last minute, before this bill was actually tabled in the lower house, several last minute changes were also made to it. But by and large, the fact of the matter is, the bottom line is that now services and civil servants are virtually under the control of the Lieutenant Governor here in the national capital. Now, there's also been a huge political bone of contention between the opposition and the BJP government. And earlier also we saw how the Congress, it was only last minute that the Congress actually supported the Aam Aadmi Party over the Delhi Ordinance, and how in the last meeting of the India Alliance, the Delhi Ordinance was a key issue. In fact, that is something that was discussed extensively amongst opposition parties, and now that bill has been passed and it changes a great deal as far as the situation on the ground in Delhi is concerned. Bureaucrats now under the control of the centre-appointed Lieutenant Governor. Short break now. We'll continue to track that breaking story of the Delhi Services Bill being passed in the Rajya Sabha.
Result of the division on the motion that the bill be passed, subject to correction. Ayes 131. Noes 102. The motion is adopted and the bill is passed.
And well, Megha Prasad is now joining us live on the phone line. Megha, 131 votes in favour of the Delhi Services Bill and 102 votes against the bill. We seem to have lost that line with Megha, but of course it's a big breaking story because a lot changes on the ground in terms of governance, how the national capital is governed. Because remember, the government seeks to now form the National Capital Civil Services Authority, which will in a sense preside over the transfer, posting and appointments of top bureaucrats of the national capital. And well, the LG's decision will be the final and binding as far as the decisions regarding bureaucrats are concerned. Megha is back with us on the phone line. So Megha, 131 votes in favour, 102 against the Delhi Services Bill. A crucial moment really, because this was really the major point of contention between the opposition and the BJP government. And now that bill has finally been passed.
Absolutely, Vedant. Very, very big moment, you know. The bill now being passed, turning into a law. And as far as the administration of Delhi is concerned, this is going to be quite a turning point. The numbers, of course, like you said, 131 is a fairly good number for the government to be able to get. 119 being the halfway mark in the upper house, but the opposition, the India Party, say that they haven't done badly either. With 101, they have also sort of proved that they had good numbers on their side as well, but they've not obviously been able to defeat the bill. You heard Raghav Chadha from the Aam Aadmi Party while he was leaving, two things with him. First, of course, the accusation from Mr. Amit Shah and also 5 members, including Saswat Patra of the BJD, Sudhanshu Trivedi of the BJP, saying that they haven't really signed on the motion that Raghav Chadha moved in the upper house against the bill, to which Raghav did not respond. We kept asking. He just said that, you know, let a notice come to me from the privileged committee and I will respond to that. But this is a serious matter. It's been pointed out by Home Minister himself, and the Deputy Chairman in the House said that this matter is going to be investigated. As far as the Delhi Ordinance Bill is concerned, Aam Aadmi Party now says that we are going to challenge this in the Supreme Court. Twice in the past, the Constitution bench in the Supreme Court has ruled in favour of the Arvind Kejriwal.
Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal is now addressing a press conference. Well, we seem to have lost that line. We'll try and get that up as soon as possible. So Arvind Kejriwal, of course, will be addressing that crucial press conference, because on the ground a lot changes, as the Aam Aadmi Party government has pointed out earlier as well, that this will in a sense paralyze the government, as they say, because that National Capital Civil Services Authority will be formed, and key bureaucrats, including the Chief Secretary, will be a part of that authority. And well, the LG's decision will be the final and binding one if any dispute arises as far as the transfer, posting and appointments of bureaucrats is concerned. Let's listen in to Raghav Chadha's reaction coming in on that controversy that MPs alleged that their names were added to the proposal without their consent. Listen in.
Required for this.
So the names have been taken without their
signature.
knowledge?
That I will respond in the committee. I shouldn't be speaking before what has happened in the meeting. Let the motion be moved and I'll respond.
What will be investigated, sir?
Let the privileges committee send me a notice. I will respond to it. I'm happy to respond. What's the problem?
Okay.
All right, so Delhi Services Bill has now been passed. Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal is addressing a press conference. Listen.
सुप्रीम कोर्ट के आदेश को पलट दूंगा. इतना अहंकार हो गया इन लोगों को. इन लोगों ने देखा कि दिल्ली में आम आदमी पार्टी को हराना बहुत मुश्किल है। पिछले 4 चुनाव सीधे सीधे 2013 में, 2015 में, 2020 में और उसके बाद एमसीडी का चुनाव, सीधे सीधे 4 चुनाव बीजेपी आम आदमी पार्टी से दिल्ली में हार गई। दिल्ली के अंदर 25 साल से ज्यादा हो गए अब बीजेपी की सरकार नहीं बनी है। 25 साल से इनको वनवास दिल्ली के लोगों ने दिया हुआ है। तो इनको लगा कि आम आदमी पार्टी को हराना मुश्किल है, तो इन्होंने चोर दरवाजे से, पीछे से चोर दरवाजे से इन्होंने दिल्ली की सत्ता को हथियाने की कोशिश की है। दिल्ली के लोगों ने एक बार आम आदमी पार्टी को 70 में से 67 सीट दी और 3 सीट बीजेपी को दी। दूसरी बार 70 में से 62 सीट दी और 8 सीट बीजेपी को दी। तो एक तरह से दिल्ली की जनता ने चिल्ला चिल्ला के बीजेपी को कहा है कि दिल्ली के अंदर दखलंदाजी मत करना। प्रधानमंत्री जी को साफ साफ शब्दों में दिल्ली के लोगों ने कहा, 7 सीट उनको नेशनल चुनाव में 7 सीट दी और दिल्ली के चुनाव में 3 सीट दी। तो मोदी जी को साफ साफ दिल्ली की जनता ने कहा कि दिल्ली के काम में दखलंदाजी मत करना, आप देश संभालो। लेकिन मोदी जी कहते हैं मैं जनता की बात नहीं मानता। इतना अहंकार हो गया, ना जनता को की बात मानते, ना सुप्रीम कोर्ट की बात मानते। और आपको पता है इस कानून में क्या लिखा है, जो कानून आज पास किया है? इस कानून में लिखा है कि दिल्ली के ऊपर से नीचे ए कैटेगरी, बी कैटेगरी, सी कैटेगरी, डी कैटेगरी, जितने दिल्ली सरकार के कर्मचारी हैं, उन सारे कर्मचारियों को के बारे में सारी पॉलिसी केंद्र सरकार बनाएगी। उनकी ट्रांसफर पॉलिसी, कौन अधिकारी, कौन चपरासी क्या काम करेगा, ये देश के प्रधानमंत्री बैठ के दिल्ली सरकार का कौन सा चपरासी क्या काम करेगा, कौन सा चपरासी फाइल उठाएगा, कौन सा चपरासी चाय पिलाएगा, कौन सा चपरासी खाना, ये काम रहेगा प्रधानमंत्री जी को। इसके लिए प्रधानमंत्री बनाया था देश का कि आप दिल्ली के चपरासियों की ट्रांसफर पॉलिसी बनाओगे बैठ के प्रधानमंत्री बनके। आप केंद्र चलाओ ना, आप दिल्ली के अंदर क्यों दखलंदाजी कर रहे हो? आपको क्या लगता है ऐसा क्यों कर रहे हैं? वो ऐसा इसलिए कर रहे हैं क्योंकि पिछले 7-8 साल में बिना किसी पावर के भी हम लोगों ने जो काम किए हैं, हमने इतने शानदार स्कूल बनाए, इतने शानदार अस्पताल बनाए, 24 घंटे बिजली कर दी, बिजली फ्री कर दी, पानी घर घर पहुंचा रहे हैं, सड़कें बनाई, इतने सारे काम हम लोगों ने कर दिए। इनसे वो काम नहीं हो रहे। 30-30 साल से गुजरात के अंदर इनकी सरकार है, बेड़ा गर्क है गुजरात का। हरियाणा के अंदर इनकी सरकार बनी, हरियाणा में बेड़ा गर्क है इनका। मणिपुर के अंदर बीजेपी की सरकार है, मणिपुर को जला दिया इन लोगों ने। इसलिए केजरीवाल के साथ कंपटीशन नहीं कर सकते, काम में कंपटीशन नहीं कर सकते, हमारे जैसे काम नहीं कर सकते, आम आदमी पार्टी के जैसे काम नहीं कर सकते। इसलिए केजरीवाल को काम करने से रोको, किसी भी तरह से केजरीवाल को काम करने से रोको, बस ये इनका मकसद है। मैं सुन रहा था अमित शाह जी को, वहां पे संसद में भाषण दे रहे थे, कहते हैं झगड़ते बहुत हैं ये लोग, झगड़ते बहुत हैं ये लोग। मैं स्कूल बनाता हूं, ये मेरे को स्कूल नहीं बना देते। फिर मैं जब इनसे कहता हूं मेरे को स्कूल बना देने दो, तो कहते झगड़ता बहुत है केजरीवाल। मैं मोहल्ला क्लिनिक बनाता हूं, मेरे मोहल्ला क्लिनिक तोड़वा दिए इन लोगों ने। फिर कहते हैं केजरीवाल झगड़ता बहुत है, मैं इनको कहता हूं मेरे को मोहल्ला क्लिनिक बनाने दो। मैं अस्पताल में दवाइयां फ्री करता हूं, कहते हैं दवाइयां फ्री क्यों करता है। मैं बिजली फ्री करता हूं, कहते हैं केजरीवाल फ्री भी दे रहा है, फ्री की रेवड़ियां दे रहा है, कहते हैं झगड़ते बहुत हैं। मैं जो भी करता हूं, चाहे झगड़ता हूं चाहे जो भी करता हूं, दिल्ली के लोगों को पसंद हूं। इसीलिए 3 बार 4 बार दिल्ली के लोगों ने मेरे को, जो भी कर रहा हूं ठीक ही कर रहा हूं, तभी 4 बार लोगों ने हमें वोट दिया। और होम मिनिस्टर अमित शाह जी क्या कहते हैं, मैंने सुना उनको संसद में, हमारे पास पावर है, संविधान ने हमें पावर दी है कानून पास करने की, हमारे पास पावर है, हमें सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने पावर दी है ये कानून पास करने की। अरे आपको पावर दी है जनता की सेवा करने की, जनता के ऊपर अत्याचार करने के लिए पावर नहीं दी है आपको। इतना घमंड मत कीजिए अमित शाह जी। आपको पावर दी गई है ताकि आप विकास करें देश का, आपको पावर दी गई है ताकि आप देश के लोगों को शक्तिशाली बनाएं। आपको पावर इसलिए नहीं दी गई है कि आप देश के लोगों को लाचार बना दें और उनके वोट का अधिकार छीन लें। ये जो आप पावर 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 कर रहे हो, ये पावर आपको जनता की सेवा करने के लिए दी गई है। मैंने देखा है अमित शाह जी पिछले चुनाव में आप घर घर जाके दिल्ली के अंदर पर्चे बांट रहे थे, एक एक घर में जाके आप पर्चे बांट रहे थे। दिल्ली के लोगों ने आपको नकार दिया। अब आप दिल्ली के लोगों को तमाचा मारने आ गए। केजरीवाल से नफरत करते करते इस नफरत में इतने अंधे हो गए कि आपने दिल्ली के लोगों के ऊपर अत्याचार करना चालू कर दिया। और मैं प्रधानमंत्री जी को याद दिलाना चाहता हूं, 2014 के चुनाव में प्रधानमंत्री जी आप खुद आए थे दिल्ली, आपका भाषण उठा के देखिए। आपने दिल्ली की जनता को प्रॉमिस किया था कि मेरे को प्रधानमंत्री बना दो, मैं अब दिल्ली को पूर्ण राज्य बनाऊंगा। उसके पहले हर चुनाव के पहले भारतीय जनता पार्टी ने आंदोलन किए हैं दिल्ली के अंदर दिल्ली को पूर्ण राज्य बनाने के लिए। और आज आप लोगों ने दिल्ली के लोगों की पीठ में छुरा घोंप दिया, अपनी वादे से मुकर गए। अगर आप ऐसे करोगे फिर प्रधानमंत्री पे कौन यकीन करेगा? आपने खुद बोला था 2014 में कि मैं फुल स्टेटहुड बनाऊंगा, फिर कौन जनता आपके ऊपर यकीन करेगी? 2015 में आपने मेरी शक्तियां छीनी दिल्ली सरकार की। जैसी हमारी सरकार बनी आपने हमारी शक्तियां छीन ली नोटिफिकेशन जारी करके। फिर भी बिना शक्तियों के हमने काम किया और दिल्ली की जनता ने मेरे को 2020 में 62 सीट दे के दिल्ली की जनता ने आम आदमी पार्टी की सरकार बनाई। क्यों? क्योंकि मैं दिल्ली का बेटा हूं और आप दिल्ली के नेता बनना चाहते हो। दिल्ली के लोगों को अपना बेटा पसंद है और दिल्ली के लोगों को आप जैसे नेता नहीं चाहिए। हम दिल्ली वाले दिल्ली से बहुत प्यार करते हैं और हम जानते हैं कि बीजेपी दिल्ली के लोगों से नफरत करती है, दिल्ली वालों से नफरत करती है। इस बार दिल्ली के लोग बीजेपी को एक भी सीट नहीं देंगे, लोकसभा में एक भी सीट नहीं देंगे। इस पूरे संघर्ष के अंदर बहुत सारी पार्टियों ने, बहुत सारे नेताओं ने दिल्ली के लोगों का साथ दिया। उन सब नेताओं को और उन सब पार्टियों को मैं तहे दिल से दिल्ली के 2 करोड़ लोगों की तरफ से शुक्रिया अदा करता हूं, धन्यवाद बोलता हूं।
So Delhi Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal there addressing a press conference saying that the BJP has tried to take the reins of Delhi through unfair means, through backdoor means, because they could not defeat the Aam Aadmi Party electorally, which is why they have now brought in this ordinance which has now been passed in the Rajya Sabha. Arvind Kejriwal also making the point that the people of Delhi will continue to support the Aam Aadmi Party as far as the elections are concerned, because the Aam Aadmi Party government has made this point several times that the BJP has failed to defeat the Aam Aadmi Party electorally, whether it's the MCD elections or the assembly elections. And now this Delhi bill being passed, something that they've said earlier as well, that this bill will paralyze the way the Delhi government actually functions, because now the transfer, postings and appointments of key bureaucrats, key civil servants will now be under the control of the National Capital Civil Services Authority, and the LG's decision will be final and binding in case of any confusion, in case of any contradiction as far as the decisions pertaining to the bureaucrats of the National Capital are concerned. So this Delhi Services Bill passed in the Rajya Sabha. Earlier it was passed in the Lok Sabha amid a walkout staged by the opposition parties, and today as well a heated standoff, an intense face-off between the opposition parties and the Treasury benches with the opposition chanting India, India, and the Treasury benches saying chanting Modi, Modi as a retaliation to that. And amid that heated standoff, the Delhi Services Bill being passed in the Rajya Sabha, many saw it as a foregone conclusion, given the fact that the government had the numbers stacked up in its favour, with Jagan Mohan Reddy's YSR CP and then Naveen Patnaik's BJD, and subsequently the TDP also extending its support to the BJP government as far as the Delhi Services Bill is concerned. So a lot changes on the ground. The centre now will get the power to appoint and transfer key bureaucrats in the national capital. Short break now. We'll keep a close watch on that breaking story.